Yes, up next we have a keynote presentation, which is from Mr. Hassan Hamad, the EMEA, that's Europe, Middle East, and Africa, senior technologist and cloud platform architect from VMware. The presentation is going to be on VMware's multi-cloud solutions. And yes, VMware is one of our platinum sponsors. There you go, Mr. Hassan Hamad, the stage is yours, sir.
Hello, Naveen. How are you?
Very well, very well. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very good, and I'm happy to be here presenting with you. Thanks for the opportunity. Let me start by sharing my screen, and I trust that my voice is coming through clear. And I hope. Can you see this screen I'm sharing, Naveen?
Yes, it's perfect, and the voice is crystal clear.
Wonderful, and also a confirmation that we have 15 minutes together. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes, if it's within the 15 minutes, then probably yes, we could have some question and answers to be answered from
Sure.
you.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much, and thanks for the introduction, Naveen. I'm indeed a senior technologist at VMware. I'm based out of the Gulf region, but I cover the whole EMEA region, and I've spent most of my career actually in Europe mainland. Thank you for having this opportunity to talk to the Kuwait market today, and I'm very happy to actually take it over from someone from Azure Microsoft. They are a key partner to us in our efforts addressing the hybrid cloud strategies and needs of our corporate customers in the region, but also broadly. I've worked, this is my second tenure. I've worked for a couple of companies such as Google Cloud, Cisco, and now VMware again. And VMware is known and has been known historically for being a technology provider. We provide some of the key concepts and the technologies required to be able to build cloud platforms, be it on premises, in the public cloud, interconnecting these two things into hybrid cloud. I think that we all agree that the future state of data centers and IT infrastructure is one that is distributed, hybrid. Our partners agree on that. The market agrees on that. The analysts and consultancies out there also agree on that. We provide some of these key technologies for this, things such as abstraction, virtualization, automation. We provide them directly to end users, customers, and businesses, but we also work jointly with partners, big names, hyperscalers, but also significant service providers in regions, in countries, to harness these technologies and be able to provide differentiated services to the market, to people like you. VMware quickly has grown way beyond its niche positioning 20 years ago, providing a server virtualization technology into becoming a platform provider, generalizing this concept of abstraction and being able to host model services on top of a distributed vertical and elastic infrastructure. Part of our portfolio offering that we are focusing on, we've created a business unit out of it, and we're investing billions of R&D dollars in partnerships, is the one that is circled with this red circle here, called multi-cloud. Okay, so I'm going to spend the next 10 minutes or so trying to just shed some light on what is our value proposition in that space and what are we aiming to do for the market overall with customers and also with partners. In the previous presentation, it's been made clear enough, and we totally agree on that, that the time is very, very opportune for cloud migrations. Each and every customer I talk to, has set up a strategy, 2 years, 3 years, 6 months, sometime 2 months, to migrating some of their workloads to the cloud. It's been accelerated, obviously, by the pandemic, and the strategies are either tactical or strategic, but it is clear to everybody that there's a journey, a roadmap, an agenda to migrate workloads to the cloud. The one thing we like to remind is when we take a step back is that these cloud migrations are generally not driven by dogmas or driven by fundamental beliefs. It's driven by pragmatic application needs. It's the applications that are deciding and influencing the overall cloud and data center strategy. People are looking at their application portfolios They're looking at the greenfield applications, the new apps they need to develop immediately and in the future, but also the existing applications, brownfield. And based on inputs such as security, cost, operations, optimizations, performance, customer requirements, deciding on what do they do with these apps. And obviously, a big part of the outcomes, the decision for these apps is to migrate some of them to the cloud. And there's multiple different ways of migrating to the cloud. The how is way beyond the scope of this presentation. At the same time, when we take a look at the cloud market overall, public cloud market that's booming, the opportunities are huge. In the previous presentation, my colleague from Microsoft mentioned artificial intelligence and more precisely image recognition as one use case. Think about retailers, think about the security market, the public sector market, it's huge. The opportunities are fantastic for all of these innovations in the public cloud, but this market is also defined by diversity. Okay, there are a couple of huge, significant providers out there. Every public cloud portfolio features 100 plus or more services. Some of them are mainstream, common, can be generically delivered by any cloud vendor out there. Some of them are highly specialized, and some particular vendors will be best in class in terms of data management. Some others will be best in class in how relevant their image recognition API is. Some others will be best in class in the cost of their traditional storage, if you will. Okay. And this diversity comes also with a couple of challenges. How can I make sure that I can use the best service from the best public cloud vendor, whatever it is and whenever I want? It is unlikely that a single vendor will rank #1 across the 100 plus categories of services that are available out there. Long story short, and based on experience, I personal experience, we like to remind that there's, in terms of the Maslow pyramid of needs, there's a couple of fundamental steps that are needed for an enterprise to devise and deliver a successful public cloud strategy. The first thing is they need to be able to have visibility about what is being consumed where and the cost of it. The immediate things, even when I used to work at Google Cloud, customers would come to me and after they landed successfully an application, the first thing they come back to me and they say, can I see it somewhere? Am I able to monitor it very precisely? Tell me the cost and give me an opportunity to optimize this cost. The second thing is obviously security and governance. Yeah, so I agree with the comment that was made by my colleague. Security should not preclude and hinder cloud initiatives anymore. The public cloud vendors have made fundamental progress in securing and offering a shared layer responsibility model to most of the enterprises. Still, people have to be able to be very comfortable that their public cloud environments have been properly configured, they are secured, they are compliant, conformant, etc., etc. The third step in terms of maturity is automation. Once people start to really consume a lot of services in public clouds, to be able to scale, they have to put in place automation strategies so that the tiny repetitive IT activities and tasks are not handled manually, but in an automated way. And for the most mature customers, customers will want to start to integrate some of services running in, for instance, Azure, with some other services running in Google, some other services running in AWS, and the services running on-prem. So there is a whole logic around how do I interconnect all of these things at the right level? How do I give the right authorizations, credentials, authentications to the people, but also to the services, okay? One of the challenges is that these public cloud platforms are built on opinionated technologies that are very, very efficient in their context, but that are very, very different one from another. They're very different from what you have in your data center, but also the technology stack. So the networking, the storage, the machine learning API would be very different from one public cloud to another. That's okay for some use cases. Some services will be created in one cloud and will never have to move out of this cloud. But for some other services that need to be distributed, that need to be balanced, that need to be repatriated or moved from one cloud to another, it will be a challenge if they're running on siloed, very particular proprietary technical stacks. Our approach to this as a key player in providing a software stack that can adapt and work across any computing environment, whether on-prem in your data center, most likely, and I hope that most of our customers, like the general market share is reflected, are using VMware technologies in their own data center, okay? So what we offer is this polyglot multi-cloud software stack that can help you deploy and operate workloads seamlessly on premises, starting from your base, using VMware vSphere as a base technology stack, and also the same technology stack running in most of these public clouds. And we did this through a hard work establishing in the last 4 or 5 years bilateral agreements with literally all of the major public cloud vendors out there in the market. VMware's approach has been very, very pragmatic in that space. It's very, very difficult to get all of these big guys in the industry to agree on open standards for a virtual machine, open standards for a machine learning service, open standards for a couple of different technologies. The way we did this is we have decided to establish bilateral agreements with Microsoft Azure, with AWS, with IBM, with Alibaba, with Oracle Cloud, with Google Cloud, to make sure that there's a VMware technology stack that resembles to the technology stack that you have today in your data center where your applications are running, and be sure the same VMware technology stack can be offered out of a service from most of these major public cloud vendors. The immediate benefits of this is that...
I'm sorry to interrupt, Hassan.
Yeah, sure.
Sorry about that. So we see that you're showing the screen and we're still on the page 1. Is that
really?
how it should be, or?
No, not at all. I was actually moving forward in the presentation. I'm sorry about this. Let me try this again. I mean, thanks for the interruption.
Okay.
So what do you see here? Do you see the multi-cloud strategy with all of these bilateral agreements?
Perfect.
Something must have happened. Sorry about that. It's fine. I think you got the gist of what I was saying. So these bilateral agreements between VMware and these big guys, leading public cloud vendors, are exclusive. No other software vendor has established all of these agreements with all of these vendors. Again, it's a very pragmatic approach. The immediate benefit of that is you can still go to AWS, you can still go to Azure, you can still go to Google Cloud. You can leverage, when you deploy a service, the native services out there. But because you have the same technology stack between your on-premises data center and what's running in the public cloud, you can also do the easiest lift and shift, the easiest migration, the easiest adoption possible of the public cloud capacity, because at the end of the day, that's what matters, okay? Let's say you're an existing business, but you just got licenses to, I'll just pick an example, run insurance services in a new part of the world, okay? You don't have your own data center presence over there. You don't have capacity, but you already hired people that can go and sell insurance. And you look around and you see that the major public cloud vendors are present over there, and you want to leverage their computing capacity. You don't want to deploy a new insurance application because you have one, a whole framework that you've been running with for the last 10 years. And this is running out of your data center. You don't want to build your own data center, but if you subscribe to a VMware hosted service on, let's say that the cloud that is present over there is Alibaba. If you subscribe to this VMware service on Alibaba, you can simply take all of your existing application footprint, okay, duplicate it and deploy it immediately without refactoring, without re-architecting, without reskilling your people, okay? So that's how we approach things. And so where are we present? We are present, actually, this VMware presence in cloud environments is present in a huge number of places in the world. What you see here in the white dots is the 4,000 plus partner network of what we call VMware Cloud Partners. And these are, small to medium service cloud providers that are present all around. And all of these white spots are areas where this offering is exposed, is provided, a hosted VMware stack out of, let's say, Zain, out of Telefonica in Spain, out of AT&T in the US, et cetera, et cetera. But we've established also this partnership with AWS out of there. And this list of spots is not up to date. We have more presences now. So in all of these AWS data centers, there is the VMware service offering available there. And again, think about this as a highway, as a shortcut between your data center that is most likely running a VMware technology stack and the public cloud. So these are the present spots with AWS. These are the present spots with Azure, and it's coming very soon to the region here in the Middle East. These are the present spots with Oracle Cloud. These are the present spots with Google. And last but not least, these are the present spots with IBM. All of that together accounts for, I mentioned Alibaba, all of that accounts for actually a huge, huge presence of this de facto compatible technology stack in all of these data centers around the world. And what we bring as a value, if we take a step back and we take a look at this from an architectural standpoint, a consistency across the infrastructure, across the operations, but also in the development model, the architecture and application model for developers. It's a consistent infra. It's the same skill set you have today, extended to the public cloud. Again, you can use public cloud capacity without having to retrain and basically dump all of your experience and knowledge and skill set. Because it's the same infrastructure, we can apply the same operational model. Again, think about this. I want to be able to have visibility and cost management across the different public clouds where I've deployed technologies. Well, it's the same technology stack. So you use the tools you use today for your on-prem environment that have been extended and augmented to understand Azure, to understand GCP, to understand AWS. And it's the same consistent developer model, a developer model that is not only focused on virtual machine-based abstraction to host workloads anymore. As you've heard, we have expanded and investing very significantly in the newer abstraction models for applications, be it containers, be it platform as a service, be it functions, or what have you. Okay, so this will be my summary slide. Our approach to the multi-cloud market is a very, very pragmatic approach. We don't come in and recommend a big bang approach. We don't come and recommend to retrain or rescale or dump your expertise that you've had for 7-8 years. We tell you it is the right thing to go and leverage public cloud. Absolutely. There are services out there. It'll be very, very difficult for geographical reasons, for innovation engine reasons, for expertise, very difficult to run on-prem. Go and leverage them. But leverage them in a way that is reduces the operational risk and the financial risk. Okay, that was it for me, Naveen. I made sure I didn't go way beyond the 15 minutes. I've had my timekeeper here. It's been 16 minutes, so sorry about this extra minute.
Sure, yes, thank you so much there, Hassan. In fact, indeed, a good presentation there. So yes, I mean, we are running, say, about 15 minutes late onto the agenda. Of course, there are questions. We would send this across to you.
Sure, yes. I'll stop sharing then.
Thanks so much, Hassan, again. And ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Hassan from VMware, one of our platinum sponsors. We do have, we do have VMware virtual space, under the exhibition tab. So requesting you to, please do check out what VMware has to offer. And if you have any questions or any queries, please do feel free to drop in. And we have a VMware team who are in the lounge as well, where you could schedule meetings with their representatives to know more about hybrid cloud solutions offering from VMware. Thank you so much, Hassan.
Thank you, Naveen. Have a good end of afternoon.
Sure. Thank you so much.